Okay, we've got Warble playing Wulfar in the orange versus Dinferno playing Zawan in the green. They're going to Locus, and just to note, this is the version of Locus that was uh, originally used at the start of the tournament. There has been an update mid-tournament to this map since. Hopefully that doesn't impact this game too much, but basically, like there was FTA. Yeah, there's FTA on this match. Um, so we're gonna
Yeah.
see if that is a big factor, or are we gonna see both players kind of play around it?
We'll see. If Warble goes for this very early merfolk, it might affect the game because the Inferno wasn't able to go for that option because of the map version. But we'll see. It's not the end of the world. As long as I think the biggest thing is to remember not to cap the lumber mill from the left with your mate and cap it from the bottom instead, because if you don't cap from the bottom, then your mage can get sniped next turn by the Kraken, and that's always a rough start. But we'll see. Right now the Inferno. Oh no. The Inferno going for like a similar opening. It will just be a bit delayed, and now Wulfar is just being very aggressive in response to that.
And what
Maybe
for?
capturing that village was a bit too wasn't respecting Wulfar enough on
Yeah,
that side.
and that's actually gonna result in Wulfar having Groove, which means he can't kill the Merfolk with it, but he can kill the Kraken with Groove, depending on the
Yep.
tiles. So we're gonna have to see some careful play coming out here, but there is a punish onto Wulfar. Eats a bunch of chip damage.
Yeah, 20% is pretty hefty on a commander this early, but looks like the Wulfar isn't gonna stay around for too long. Yeah, the map dynamic on this map is like the commander can't stay in that corner forever. Fighting into that exchange depot is too difficult. So it looks like they're both leaving before they're forced to leave. The Inferno left even earlier, which makes sense because, uh, well, because of the openings, like Warble was going to be able to kick off Zawan way faster than anticipated. But here, and so Dinferno anticipated that, I guess, and left early. And now they're gonna meet closer to the center. Zawan did like apply a bit of pressure on that village, but I'm not sure he's gonna be able to stay there for too long.
Yeah, no, actually, not looking to be in a healthy position there. Has to retreat. Can't kill the sword on the way out. That is a bit frustrating. Probably would have loved to have hit that sword from behind, but the
Yeah,
layout
and
preventing that.
losing that sword in the opening is going to slow down the Inferno's economy top left. Usually you want to keep that sword alive because, well, once the enemy commander left, you kind of you don't want to invest that much more into the corner, but you still want to flip everything as fast as you can. So that one extra sword is really useful. But right now it looks pretty even, so
Yeah, if
aside
you,
from like Warble did find a few kills here and there, but nothing too major yet. We'll see. Um, we'll see how the grooves are used here, because Wulfar cannot use his own. Well, cannot use the initial part of his groove on the vines. He can like use it to damage the vines with the landing and the bounces, but he can't like just outright remove the vines. So there is some incentive for Zawan to groove first here. And Warble really likes these early frogs, actually. and I approve.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the people in the community that's been pushing like frog meta a lot. We're just seeing.
Yeah,
Well, I
looks like
suppose.
they're just gonna rotate a little around the center. Dinferno is in a good position so far, actually. Warble is like starting to take the other corner, but Dinferno does have control over the two center villages. Well, relatively, I guess. Let's see. Now here, a very dangerous thing to do for Zawan would be to decap that 5 village from the forest where the knight is standing. Against Wulfar and next to a river, that's very dangerous. I will say that Warble is probably has a slightly stronger army for now because the Kraken did like convert into a golem, I think, unless I'm
Yep,
imagining stuff.
it did, and yeah, Dinferno's only just now getting their own golem.
Yeah, transform the barge into that golem.
But there's some interesting dynamics going on with like army composition choices here. So, Wobble's got his archer out. There is the frog as well. But there is a
Yeah,
rifle up here.
Warble really prepared their army to fight in these center choke points. Has a rifle and a frog and a few golems. That's like the army composition you want to fight in that area. And so I mean, Dinferno does have the rifle in response, but it's not in position yet. And I think Dinferno probably should try to fight more towards the sides at the moment. But Zawan also doesn't really like fighting in these choke points. But yeah, still doing some work in the bottom right corner. Is not going to be able to take full control of the top left. But
that is really
I
unfortunate actually, because we're about to see double lumber mill come out for Warble, and that's a huge advantage to get.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And looks like Warble now has a small lead and is gonna try to expand it with this groove, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, picks up a kill on the mage.
Takes care of the ant here. Classic.
And the timing on this is like before like Zawan's going to be able to realistically get groove, so that's actually a huge deal because now...
I mean, Zawan should be getting close to tier 2 right now, but not really having the position or army to make use of it anymore. And that's the dangerous thing in this matchup, is that Zawan wants to be the early game bully that just, gets in your face and like threatens, or just, makes big plays early to get ahead. But Wulfar has an earlier timing than Zawan, so
we are going to see
he
tier 2
can get ahead.
though.
Yeah, alright, tier 2. I really like using it not on that main army, because if you use it there on Warble's main army, then you're not going to get that much value, and Warble is going to be able to just clean up the vines. It does mean that Warble's main army is left kind of unchecked, but can't really do much about that. It's like Frog Archer, Double Golem, Wulfar. Well, not Double Golem, just one. But Wulfar basically counts as a Golem.
Yeah, there's no point using vines against a force that is just going to obliterate the vines at no real cost. Like, you would get like an extra turn of your rifle firing. That's pretty much it. Maybe
at most you'll like force them to use one mage heal or two, and then your groove will have accomplished very little.
Yeah,
which is not what you want.
Yeah, in this case, like, it's also forced the army to split up a bit more, just because suddenly the threat is a lot greater.
Yeah. And Dinferno is getting, thanks to that groove, is getting to clean up all the bottom right side,
Yeah,
which
is
is a
actually,
good thing.
yeah, it's really helping him a lot. And there was a lot of pressure up on the top left initially, and now there's a lot of pressure on the bottom right. And yeah, Dinferno's doing a good job playing around where their opponent isn't. Ooh, nice pick up on that mage.
Mm,
Gonna allow the harpy to be a bit more threatening.
I'm not sure about that trade. I guess.
There's actually barely any anti-air at the bottom now,
Yeah,
so
but that mage is arriving, and I guess you can have the witch and the frog to support anti-air, so it's not ideal, I'd say. And like worst case scenario, Warble can just kind of move back, and then now your mage covers for the harpy. So yeah, not a big fan of that trade. It's not the end of the world. You still have a bunch of knights, but yeah.
yeah, I
And
guess like
ooh,
one thing it does is it locks up units that could have hit vines, and
I guess Warble is moving forward, so not gonna have mage covering like everything perfectly. Still gets decent mage cover actually, now that I look at it, but yeah, let's see.
okay, vine comes forward, does a bit of damage. Just seeing, yeah, big push into the opponent's
Alright,
force.
yeah, mage heal. Kind of, I mean, it's hard to just, like, it's hard to be safe while using Zawan in the fight here to attack because there's a frog and stuff on the other side. There's also, like, threat of a long-range Wulfar group. But I think you really need to use Zawan in this fight.
I wonder, are we gonna see frog pull coming in here?
Mm,
I think
let's
Warble's
see.
just
I
gonna play it
don't think
careful for now.
there's any, like, good frog pulls available here. I guess you could, like, do something like you hit with the golem and then pull it back to take advantage of the forest tile with another unit, but the positioning is awkward to do that, so I don't think we're gonna see any frog pulls be impactful. I guess you can pull the golem and make it arrive faster, but no. Gonna position to get a better pull next turn. I think it's a good mindset. And yeah, now that like Wulfar is closer and like more units are reinforcing this fight, it's gonna be harder and harder for the Inferno to win it.
I think Zawan might just die, actually.
Oh yeah, it is a forest, so it's not like guaranteed, but and like no units really have a good access to him, like above, I guess. I
Frog
don't think he's
below?
dead, but I don't think he's dead, but his army is gonna take heavy damage this turn, I feel.
Ooh, Wolfer's got tier 2, so I think he's just
Ooh,
dead.
again.
Yep. Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
gonna
it
have it
has been a
right
while,
now, so
and they have been trading sides, and that's very good for building groove.
yeah. I mean, a lot of this army's gonna go down, but I think that one just dies. Dragon comes in front. Gonna see the
Ooh,
first sword
looks like you
suicide.
were correct. Perhaps.
Yep.
There's also always the strategy of just damaging the enemy commander to restrict their options next turn. Um, which doesn't really work against the Zawan groove, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna see tier 2 come in here. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh yeah, there's still the frog in the tank.
And
Oh,
the
is that
knight.
is that a night crit?
It is.
Ooh, it
Oh,
is. Yeah, very
is
dead.
it gonna be a kill with the frog? Oh, well, the frog's gonna be involved.
No.
Oh,
Ah,
and yeah, that was
well,
like the moment I saw Zawan move into that position, I was like, yeah, that's just a lethal waiting to happen.
yeah.
So many
I
units
mean,
could interact with it, and
last turn Zawan like probably could have gone away with a hit, but this turn it's really dangerous. And yeah, that happens.
yeah, so well played to Warble. I mean, Dinferno played a really good game that game, and I actually wonder how well this would have played if they've been playing on the newer version of the map. I do think that them playing on the older one did come into effect. Like I think that lumber mill being available on both sides for Warble probably wouldn't have happened if Dinferno had been an extra turn ahead. But
Yeah, hard to say really. Because Dinferno kind of lost a sword early, and that also plays into it.
yeah,
I think Warble like got a few good pickups early, and then like used that to have like more pressure, and kind of slowly gained an advantage until Dinferno had to commit to a fight down in that bottom part of the map. But that's kind of outside of where you usually want to fight into. And sure enough, Warble was able to reinforce that area fast and get the kill on Zawan for being there.
yeah. And I will say, like they both played excellently. Like they were both playing very well. So it wasn't like it was like a map win or anything. Like it was very much like they both just played an excellent game. And Dinferno had some really good ideas. I'm really looking forward to seeing more from Dinferno because they're just going into the lower bracket, so we're gonna get to see more of them. But anyway, we're gonna go into the next set. So